Hi there! Isn't that a beautiful bright African sunset today to start with as we cook and eat traditional herbs as shared with you through travel culture here? Hope you enjoy or learn something, even become amazed, all the better. Alright, let's dig into this documentary now quickly. In this African herb cooking, we are sharing with you the important use of the blackjack plant, usually highly regarded as a weed in gardens. You can see here it's covering the whole garden. This is blackjack, a famous top favorite food for rabbits. We had gone to pluck the leaves for the rabbits' evening food, but as a human, did you know blackjack is even more important to our health? Young blackjack crop flowers with a yellow patch in middle spread with white petals on the side. As the crop matures, the flowers turn into tiny dark sticks like thorns that will stick to your clothes as you walk. When you harvest the blackjack, you pluck the leaves of the stems. The soft parts of the stems, like the middle where young leaves are maturing, can be added, including the yellow-white flowering. The dark sticks may be a little hard, but be their uses too. Salt is a cleanser, and it's added to remove any toxins and dirty. Water will have to be added to the mixture and leave still for some time for natural cleaning. Wash thoroughly 3 times. Salt water can be used once to save and other 2 times rising. Can end with salt rising water interchangeably as you want. Then cut into pieces like any other vegetable. Else, the leaves being already tiny, it's enough. In the meantime, beans like these will be cooking. The vegetable can be added to any other sauce for you nutrient addition. Could be meat, peanut sauce, even other foods like spaghetti or rice green coloring. It could be anything how you choose to eat your veggies. I wanted to mix it in beans. I no longer oil fry my food, I eat it boiled. So I colored these weird looking boiled beans with blackjack, hahaha. Of course, to add more color, I added garlic, onions, tomatoes, and of course a little salt for the taste. Oh yes, I added silverfish too. These are mushrooms, also good for our health and helping my dental. I thought it would be fun to add some of it too. Alright, this is the whole lot of the sauce mixture I had. Food mixture here, we call it katogo. What do you think? Too much? Too healthy? It all really depends on your liking, sincerely how you want it. So here I will light my fire. This is a stove that uses paraffin. First open its 3 layers to light the paraffin wet strips with a matchbox. Then close the layers again to keep inside the heating fire with the green outer metal. Once it's blue light like Bunsen burner, I put the saucepan. This here is an African 3-stone stove used for cooking. Given it's very expensive to cook using a stove, especially with paraffin or kerosene hiking fuel prices today, it requires using it to cook quick simple food or just warming. And in our village, the homes hardly have any cookers or gas. So for foods that take long to cook like the beans you saw earlier, we use this 3-stoned African stove that's light, line a campfire, then put the saucepan on top. It can, however, cause a lot of sample and breathing. Now you understand why the sides of my saucepan is pretty dark. Lots of soot that can't be removed daily. So the saucepan gets used, but of course keep the insides clearly clean, hehe. Sometimes the wood fire may go out, so this broken plate here was recycled to help in blowing to keep the fire active. One has to wave it side to side to bring the wind and fire reignites again. So here our beans were cooked and got ready quite quickly. The stones can cook fast. Oh, if you wondering about the fire, this was demo purposes. From this angle, you can quickly see bit of lighted fire stove found in another neighborhood. That's lots of smoke soot, oof oof. An African legend is told from our childhood that one should never sit on the cooking stones because they will grow short, hahaha. But thinking about it's a way to keep kids off the stones because one never knows when it's hot. So we still keep the legend onto this young generation. It's important. Oh yes, we have climate challenges and tree cutting. No, we have never cut down a tree specifically for fired wood. And any villager will confirm. We gather small branches from forests, gardens, and bushes. So firewood cooking really contributes less to deforestation. One would say the natives kept forests well until modernization of new energy sources. In our specific home, we use mostly cassava stems. Once cassava is harvested, lots of stems left behind them rot, so we collect it from gardens. I sometimes collect small pieces of wood by roadside after evening hikes going back home. This has saved us a lot on energy costs, especially with the recent government ban on charcoal, the country's biggest source of cooking energy, due to very high extinction of forest cover recently that it's harder than ever to buy charcoal later having a meal. So for now, we stick to cassava stems recycling. So back to the stove cooking. Here the blackjack mixture is boiling. We mix more. One can add spices of choice. I'm less into industry spices, but once a while I prefer local-made spices. Alright, everything is boiling fast, stir more. As the sauce boils here, I make the natural drinking herbal from part of the salted washed leaves, but first rinse with drinking water. I may add this bitter leaf, locally called ulcers, not sure of English wording. This leaf is so bitter, and it's the most common treatment of malaria in villages since time memorial. Recently, I learnt washed in salty water, it's less bitter. It also has so many uses I just discovered, like natural body deodorant. If you enjoy this blackjack herbal documentary, we could do one for ulcers. If you don't like a little of bitterness, then just do only blackjack squeeze. We don't have blending machines, so the arms will do, no worries. So need to squeeze the leaves with water to make a green mixture. Drink is ready. Sieve it. Squeeze out the leaves for clear solution. Check on sauce boiling. Add the remains of the sieved juice leaves to the sauce if you wish to. No waste. Then mix. It's still nice to hear together. Greens don't need to boil too much. Even better if eaten raw. If you can drink raw blackjack, then surely can eat a sauce. But here also ensuring the silver fish is ready. The green juice is poured in the cup ready to drink. But I wanted to drink it for later. It's advisable to not drink in minutes when going to eat. We try to stick to eating health habits. Here you can see my nice drink, well done with a bit of bubbles, you know it's truly ready. The sieved remains in the container can also be added to the boiling sauce. Surely our sauce is ready for serving with this final stirring, and now ready for serving. I will serve it with bread. I like eating bread with different soups, especially while grain bread is more healthier advised. Well, serve it carefully to the side. If it's your first tasting, never know how it turns out for you, hehe. You can see all the sauce mix components coming out nicely, right?
Ah.
If you like, you would eat with any type of food like rice, but being quite a lazy cook, and having bread with a ready sauce, so why not? Oh, should add a bit more for a heavier or fuller stomach since it's with bread. The rest can be left for dinner or super. So that was my lunch display. Can you tell the type of green us blackjack? Look closer, can you tell? All mixed up. In the meantime, I put water to boil to show you another use of this wild vegetable. Woo, I added another slice, and it means the soup got soaked quickly. We'll have to add another little topping now to finish off this bread. It's so yummy. Forget the forks and use the fingers. Finger-linking fingers, haha. The people from Congo have been known to eat blackjack for a long time, especially tea. We heard of this rumor in childhood but ignored it. But more horrified, they eat the garden weeds. A rabbit food, what? But with age, you realize the importance. Then only wish had started earlier. As I said, I prefer natural spices. This here is turmeric, which I would have crushed and added as a spice. But I wanted to show you its other use. For any purpose, wash it clean and can crush it like in this small wooden mortar. But it has one problem. Its yellow color sticks everywhere. So I've learnt to cut it into tiny pieces to minimize the damage. Turmeric has lots uses, and I realized its power during COVID-19. We could its own herbal cooking. I hardly take tea leaves. To make tea, Add little pieces of turmeric and some blackjack leaves. It's also here where you can add the other parts of the blackjack that are hard, like the stems, the dark flowers, of course, plus the cleaned leaves. But careful swallowing hard parts can sieve them. Our hot water is ready, and there is a nice cup of tea made in a different way with different spices. The hotness will even cook the spices a bit to add more taste. I rarely take sugar, but if you want add some sugar, the better if it's honey. Still looking for natural honey? Mine is over as of now. I will let the hot tea to warm as I finish my food. Not healthy to take very hot drinks. And it's advised after eating wait a few minutes, drink cold water, then later can take something warm. Oh, what happened to my green juice? Taking water plus tea at same time would be too much, so I decided to keep it safe in this tiny flask to drink in a few hours later. If had done it in morning would be a good morning juice. For now it will be an evening juice. The remains you can eat them or add them to the sauce for later warming as I did.